Greetings. Today I'd like to do a quick first look at the new Shure ADX3. It's kind of a big box, bigger box than I was expecting. For those that are not aware, the 3 designator on Shure equipment is for plug-on transmitter. The AD is obviously Axient Digital, and the X, which is the new part, is for ShowLink. So Shure has had an AD3 for actually 3-ish years now. So a plug-on transmitter without ShowLink, and now they have finally delivered one with ShowLink. And this is great because now it means we can remotely control the transmitter just like any other ShowLink enabled transmitter. I was kind of hoping that they would do a body pack that had phantom power, but for now, this is at least finally something that's usable. So let's get it unboxed and set it up and do a couple of quick tests and see how it goes. Okay, so here we have the box. The only thing I've done so far was slit the tape to make this a little easier to get into. And we open it up. And the first thing that we get is the manual, printed manual, which these days is kind of wish they wouldn't waste paper on that. We get the little notices and whatnot paper. We get the standard Shure little zipper bag. And now pull out this. We have here a USB-A to USB-C cable, which can be used to help charge the unit as one possible power option. In here, well, before we do that, we've got a pair, if I can get them out, a pair of Shure 900B batteries, which are rechargeable lithiums. I'm not the fondest of these. I've used them with the ULXD. And the problem is the little prongs that then hit this connector and the one over here they go bad after a while and they stop making contact, and you have to constantly like bend the prongs back in order to make contact again, which is a little frustrating. Let's see, that whatever that is does not want to come out. Here we have the unit itself with a little piece of plastic over it. And so you've got the USB port on the bottom, door here with a release mat latch. They give you a little device to mount here if you want to use AA batteries, or you can again use the SV900. It looks like they got a different design here. So instead of prongs coming out from top and bottom, the prongs are now built into the base. That looks like they'll probably last longer, make better connections. So that's a nice addition. And then we have their patented locking collar, which does not seem to want to turn right now. Maybe because there's no mic. Well, actually, can we get it? Yeah, there. So this is the locked position. That's the unlocked position. So it looks like it compresses a bit when you turn it to the locked position, and then that'll grab onto whatever mic you've got it connected to. And then, of course, the buttons. So let's put one of these batteries in and see if it has any charge in it at the moment. I'm guessing they probably ship around 30% charge. So we have to take the little, says a little sticker, charge before use. But we will pop this in real quick and see where it is at. So the door is open. And it should go in this way. And I guess because I have to take this piece out and stick it. They've got the little cubby for it up here at the top. See if I can't get that to go in there so it doesn't get lost. Yeah. And then put the battery back in. Now it closes, lock it. And now if we press down on the X, turns on, you get the little green light saying calculating. And we can see that the battery is pretty empty, saying only about 42 minutes left. And bar was at 1 bar when it was first powering up before it had talked to the battery. So it does not come particularly charged, so do follow the sticker guidance and try to charge the batteries before you use them. And that display goes to sleep pretty quickly, doesn't it? The unit is actually fairly hefty. If you're going to stick this on the end of a pole, where on the end of a boom itself, it's going to definitely throw the balance off. If you're using a blimp or some other holder that has an extension cable to bring the cord down to the pole, probably will be easier to manage. But yeah, this thing is a hefty boy. So let's see if we can't get whatever this last piece out is. And so a little case with a clip. So if you wanted to clip this to a belt or something and just run the cord from your pole into this, you could wear this on your belt using this little holster that they give you. So that's everything in the box. I'm going to go charge the batteries for a while, and then I will get it connected to my receiver, and we'll go through that. So here, real quick, I have connected the ADX3 via USB to a charger that can deliver up to 100 watts. And you can see on the display, it says that the charger is only, or the charging the battery through the ADX3 itself is only pulling 2.5 watts. And if we turn it on, just shows EXT for the battery. It does not show how charged it thinks the battery is. Battery charging. So here it thinks it'll take approximately 3 hours and 18 minutes to fully charge, which is slower than when you use one of their dedicated SB900 chargers. Okay, so now let's get it paired up with the receiver. At the moment, you can see the mic that I'm on is on channel 3. and I'm going to pair it on channel 1. Now on channel 1, I happen to have this body pack, which you can see I just turned on, and we're getting RF on channel 1. And I will turn on the ADX. One of the nice things about Axient Digital is that you can pair multiple transmitters to one receiver channel. And so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to select channel 1, and then we will pick the ShowLink button, which you can see is showing ShowLink signal, and currently it's on transmitter 1. So if I hit that button, you can see the current transmitter and its stats. And now what we want to do is sync this as the second transmitter. So very important, I'm going to roll the knob down to number 2. And now you see the only option we have is sync. Whereas if we're up here, we can activate, flash, unlink, and resync it. So I'm going to come down here to 2. So I'm going to hit sync, hold this up to it, and it has synced. And you can see we now have stats for both of them. And if we exit out of here, currently it's giving us a warning that there's multiple transmitters. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come to number 2 and we're going to say activate. And what that will do is that's going to make this the active one, and it's going to tell this one to RF mute. So you can see you no longer have the little transmitting icon showing next to the first one. I could go up here and say activate, enter, and now you can see the transmit icon is on the first one and it's off on the second one. But since we're going to be doing more testing with this, I'm going to activate this one. And so now it is the active transmitter. And if we wake up the screen, you can see it's got the ShowLink indicator. Actually, if we come over here and say activate, notice how it says RF muted now on the screen, and it's flashing it. But if we come back and activate it again, now it is active. So the next bit is I'm going to try it with a couple of different boom mics and make sure that it is not causing any RF or EM interference with the boom mics. All right. Excuse the crude hallway, but this is the best place I have at the moment to do a test where it's reasonably quiet ambient noise, and granted hard surfaces that are going to echo, but what we're really interested in here is pickup of RF or EM interference when using the ADX3 plug-on. For this first mic I'm testing, this is what I normally use for indoors. This is an AT4053B, and right now it is running via XLR cable. Sorry for any of the noise it picked up. Via XLR cable directly into the Scorpio. Now we have the AT4053B with the Shure ADX3 attached. How does this sound compared to when it was wired directly into the Scorpio? Let me know. Okay, here we have a DPA 4017B in a Rode blimp with dead cat. This is really ideally suited for outdoor use, not in close reflective walls like this. But again, what we're looking for is any evidence of RF or EM interference when we stick the Shure ADX3 plug-on transmitter on it. So here's our baseline recording, and now we're going to switch to the ADX3. Here we have the DPA 4017B in a Rode blimp connected to the Shure ADX3, which you can see down here. One unfortunate thing is that the alignment of the connector on the blimp handle is that the screen and buttons face the stick, which makes them a little awkward to get to. But at any rate, how does this sound in comparison to wiring the DPA4017B direct into the Scorpio? Let me know. I thought we'd take a quick look at how the ADX3 shows up in Wireless Workbench. So you can see here, got the old ULX turned on in the other room. And that's because I'm using it to charge the new batteries, which are done now. I have the ADX3 here. I have already renamed it to the plug-on 001. And if you try to modify a transmitter in Wireless Workbench, all you really get is changing zones, identify device, etc. What you instead have to do is modify the channel that it's actually connected to. So I'm going to right click and do properties here. And so here you can see the transmitter is on. I don't currently have a mic to it, so there's no audio levels on it right now. And you've got all of the current settings in this view. On radio, you have the normal things like get it a new frequency, do automatic avoidance when you're using a spectrum manager, etc. On the audio tab, you have the usual what's the gain level that you're setting as the output on the transmitter, or sorry, on the receiver. And so all this is normal as well. So the transmitter this is where you get to the interesting bit. So you can see, if you recall, we had added this as the second transmitter on channel 1. So the first transmitter is currently showing a big RF mute. And if I say activate, are you sure? Confirm. And so now this one no longer has RF mute, and you can see that the transmit signal went away on channel 2. If I switch over to here, I can activate it now. And again, now you see it's got power on and the other one is muted. You have normal control over power levels, so the 2, 5, or 20 milliwatts, I think it is. Let's see, if we say it's 35, sorry. Put it back to normal. Phantom power is one of the most obvious differences with this transmitter over, say, the body pack, because the body packs don't obviously do phantom power. You have options for 12 volt and 48 volt. Phantom power, you have the usual input pad of, actually you can boost as well on this one. So minus 12 off and 12 dB boost for if you're using a really quiet mic. Mic offset is the usual mic offset. This is not really meant to be like a gain adjustment. That's done on the audio out. Instead, with mic offset, the idea is that when you have multiple transmitters linked to the same receiver channel and you switch between them, you do not have big jumps in volume between the different transmitters. So basically you adjust each of the transmitters so that the overall level coming out of the receiver remains the same. Polarity, you can do positive, negative, you can do high pass filter. I should say that when I was doing the tests with the AT4053B and the DPA4017B, the high pass filter was turned off. And then you have your usual things like enable a tone generator, what access, ShowLink access point is it connected to. You can lock out everything on the transmitter so your talent can't accidentally turn it off, change any settings. And then it's giving information about the battery and its health, and then also the firmware. 149 is current firmware. It came with current firmware, did not have to update it. So that's a quick look at the ADX3 transmitter in Wireless Workbench. So that was a quick first look at the Shure ADX3 plug-on transmitter with ShowLink. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments below. Thanks. Cheers.